What does it take to make $1 million? What I'm looking at is this. To make $1 million, I would have to do 7 deals in 1 year with this formula. That would require $253,750. Good morning, this is Sean Higgins. Thank you for tuning in. And as we were getting into tax lien certificates last time, the explanation was so much in depth, more so than I thought it was going to be. I postponed on talking about the tax deeds, and that's what I want to talk about now. Talk about being able to get a property for fractions, pennies on the dollar. So let me explain what happens. There are 2 different states out there. There are tax lien states and tax deed states. Essentially, and I want you to hear this, tax liens and tax deeds are the same thing. It's a function of when the county allows you to get involved in the process. I want you to think about this for a minute. There is not a property in the United States that can get foreclosed on for delinquent taxes that hasn't been late for at least 4 years, typically 5. Okay, it doesn't matter what it is. So a tax lien certificate, when I'm buying it into the 3-year redemption period, it had to have been late 1 year, 3-year redemption period, that's 4 years before you can foreclose. Does that make sense? So a tax deed state, say like California, Texas, Alabama, things like that, what's gonna happen is they say, no, we're gonna go ahead and hold the tax lien certificate during that quote unquote redemption period. And during that redemption period, if the property owner comes into the county, they're gonna owe whatever interest rate is prevailing. For instance, in California, it is 18%. But you and I aren't allowed to participate in that part. What those states, in a tax deed state, and that's what we're talking about right now, is a tax deed state says, you know what, we're gonna let them pay us, and if they don't pay us in a prescribed amount of time, let's say California, which is 5 years, then we're gonna offer that property up for auction. As you can see, I've got some spreadsheets back here. So let me explain what I'm talking about, pennies on the dollar. Okay, when you go into an auction, at a tax deed auction, you're giving the county the money, the county is giving you the property. Now, there may be some deed transfer situations where I've got to clean up the title or something like that, but you're getting the property. So here's the property here that I bought on 42nd Ave. I paid $11,000 for this property. It's got an after rehab value, ARV, of 142. I've got one on California. Now this is just a lot. I paid $7,000. It's got an ARV of 20,000. I just wanted the lot. Cindy Drive, we paid $97,000. It's worth $250,000. So when you hear me say buy properties for 10% of fair market value, that's what it's all about. Okay, let's talk about Madrid. We paid $30,000 for that, and it is worth $200,000. That's 15% of value. Okay, let me tell you something. I think we're about ready to go into some kind of a cycle with the real estate, and it's not going to go down. I think we're going to continue to go up. Okay, if the market had 6 million brand new properties right now, they would be gobbled up in 30 days. There is a huge shortage of single family residential properties, and for that matter, apartment buildings. Regardless of where the interest rates are right now, that market is going to continue to drive. So let me tell you this. When you're looking at a tax deed situation, you're doing research as if you're going to own the property. Now, I know for a fact that Madrid, I paid $30,000 for it. It's going to take about $75,000 total to get it up. So I'm in it at half price. So my formula that you've heard me talk about before is if I can get in the property, all in, meaning rehab, title work, everything else like that, at 50 cents of value, I'm good. Doesn't that open up some options? Now think about this for a minute. I could sell for $200,000. That's not a bad day. Okay, I could rent the property out for $2,000 a month. That's not a bad day. Okay, there are so many things I can do with this property. It's unbelievable. Now, I want you to think about something here for a minute. If I'm looking at this scenario with these 4 properties, understanding there's a lot involved in here. Okay, so of the 4 properties, one's a lot. So with these 3 properties, my average target price was $36,000 per property, and I paid $97,000 for one. So if I can pay $36,000 for a property, okay, and then I can go in there and I can put some money in it. So my total all in was about half value of the property. So about $300,000 total makes me $600,000. So what I'm looking at is this. To make $1 million, I would have to do 7 deals in 1 year with this formula. That would require $253,750. Subscribe, Hit the subscribe button. That lets me know that y'all like it. Hit the subscribe button. Okay, let's get back to what we're talking about. But remember, in other videos, I talked about what does it take to make $1 million. That's what it is. Once you start getting the formula, now understand, you don't have this formula. I do. Okay, what you have to do is make some assumptions. Put a target on the wall and say, these are my assumptions. That way you can make adjustments. I had a big mentor of mine that has guided me through all of my stuff. He says, Sean, you can't shoot at a barn door or a barn wall and then go up and paint a target around it and say, I hit it. You gotta paint a target and say, this is what I'm trying to do. What does it take? Now, I'm gonna tell you, my target was way off. I thought it was gonna take 19 properties to do $1 million, and it only took 7. So now I can adjust going in there. Does that allow me to pay more money for the properties? No, let's stay within those parameters. Okay, if I can capture these properties at an average of $36,000, put another $30,000 in rehab, I'm good to go. All right, that's enough for today. This is Sean Higgins saying God bless, good luck, and be careful. They're firing real bullets out there.